So as soon as you click start recording, it starts.
Alright, so, hello everyone, MRP Gamer, back with another YouTube video. Tomorrow's the Super Bowl. It's around 11 o'clock here on a Saturday night. Let me just fix this camera real quick. And I got my buddy here in the chat. I mean, actually in the video. If you want to say what's up.
Yeah. What's up? We're just going to be talking news on football, mostly, baseball, basketball, etc. NBA trade deadline was the other day, so we'll be talking about that a little bit. And, yeah, but just in 42 minutes ago, the 76ers are signing Kyle Lowry to a $2.8 million buyout contract deal with the Hornets.
So, the Hornets signed Kyle Lowry. Don't really know much about him. I know he was on the Toronto Raptors, won a championship with him. So, yeah, if you could explain to me the deal that actually happened, more of the deal, that would be great, because I can hear how much it is.
76ers have bought out Kyle Lowry
Okay.
for a $2.8 million contract from the Hornets post-trade deadline.
How many years?
It looks like it is a 1-year deal for $2.8 million.
Okay, so yeah, so he's okay. So just the rest of the year. So that's good for basketball. Don't really know much about basketball, the Hornets or anything. I would love to go to a Celtics game, but I don't know much about them. But it would be cool to see a real life basketball game. I've never really been to one, but yeah. So.
All right.
The Hornets basketball. They actually played today. They played the Grizzlies. They won 115 to 106. They are 11-41. So they're really not that good. Do you know if Kyle Lowry's any good, Jacob?
He's been okay recently, but they just recently traded Hornets recently traded Terry Rozier to the Heat for Kyle Lowry and some other stuff. But this weekend, Jerick McKinnon is questionable for the Kansas City Chiefs to play in the Super Bowl. That would be a big hit for Kansas City, as he's one of their most important players on their squad.
Yeah, so... Yeah, what?
Yeah, 3 players out for the Chiefs.
Who?
Joe Thuney and Prince Tega wanna go.
Okay.
2 players.
So, looks like he's going to be injured reserve. Jerick McKinnon. So he's going to be injured
reserve.
He's a running back, so they're probably going to have Edwards-Helaire play running back. And
Pacheco.
Pacheco, yeah.
Um.
And it does seem like we are going to see who's the Super Bowl. Like, we're going to watch it tomorrow. I am. But obviously you are a 49ers fan.
Yes.
I'm more of a Broncos fan. I do want the Niners to win. Let's go Niners
Let's talk
tomorrow.
about predictions. What is your score prediction for the Super Bowl, and who do you think is going to win the game?
Let me just finish talking about this McKinnon stuff. So, yeah. So, McKinnon, he's out. And then we'll get to that. I'm sorry. But, so, it's just... They're going to have to play with a running back. They're going to have to play with either Helaire or Pacheco. I would probably say Pacheco. But, yeah, McKinnon's out. He could be playing if they really need him. But, who knows. 2 other guys are out. Bad for the Chiefs. Score prediction, I am going to say... I'm going to say 31-27. 27.
So,
Niners.
Niners. I'm thinking 28-21 49ers.
All right, so I got 38-27. All right. So yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's not going to be a super high scoring game, but there's going to be some nice matchups, especially between players like Deebo Samuel and L'Jarius Sneed. That's going to be some fun, and see if there's going to be some trash talking between those two.
Oh yeah, I think everybody's gonna not like the whole Kelsey situation. How, he's here in the Super Bowl. His girlfriend is obviously Taylor Swift, and the players are gonna want to win because it's gonna be the Swift show after the game. She's gonna put on her own show. It's gonna be the Taylor show, but it's just she's so popular. A lot of people know her. She makes so much money. He makes a lot of money, Travis. But here's the thing. I really do think that I just don't want them to win the Super Bowl. They've already won two. They already played the Niners in the Super Bowl. And they won. I don't know what the final score of that was.
But
Look it up on my phone, maybe. Yeah, what?
one thing is that if the Chiefs win this Super Bowl, they'll be the first team to go back-to-back since the New England Patriots.
Yes, which, honestly, you could probably say that right now, the Kansas City Chiefs of this era, the Kansas City Chiefs are the Patriots from last era. So the Patriots were so good with Brady.
They're the equivalent to
Exactly.
last era's
Exactly.
Patriots, yeah.
Exactly. So that makes sense. I'm not sure really about why, how they're kind of doing it, because the receiving core is pretty. Without Tyreek Hill, it's just kind of a little suspicious. It's a little different.
That receiving core is atrocious.
Valdez-Scantling's not bad.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling did have a crazy catch against.
He did. Baltimore.
Against the Baltimore, yeah, that sealed the game.
Yeah, he pretty much ended their season right there, the Ravens. But even if he didn't make the catch, they were gonna win. They were definitely gonna win. But Kelsey, I don't want to see these guys win it. It's just, Brock Purdy, from being a backup to Jimmy Garoppolo, right? He was a backup for Garoppolo, correct?
He was a third string.
He's a third string.
Garoppolo.
Yeah.
He was also the last pick in the draft.
Ridiculous.
62nd pick? I don't even remember.
Last pick in the whole entire draft. And yeah, he's getting Super Bowl. I mean, he could get Super Bowl MVP. He could win MVP unless Lamar did win it. I'm sorry.
Lamar did win.
He could not win MVP. I'm getting mixed up because there's two. Because in baseball there's two. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's what we're going to talk about now. NFL honors. Joe Flacco comeback player of the year. Do you agree with that, or do you think someone else like Tua Tagovailoa or DeMar Hamlin should have won comeback player of the year? Who do you think should have won that award, or do you think Joe Flacco deserved it?
I think Joe Flacco deserved it just because he came out of retirement. He did win a Super Bowl when he played with the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's well deserved for him. I think he earned it because he came out of retirement. He did make the playoffs. His team did lose first round of the playoffs, but it was. Nick Chubb got hurt too, so he didn't even have a running back. And the defense was still pretty good. It's always been pretty good, but still, it's just crazy to really think about how, he came back. He can play. The whole story with Deshaun Watson, could talk about that, but maybe save that for another day. It's just crazy how he kind of went to win it because he's old too. So yeah, I think it's well deserved for him. I think it 100% is great for him, great for the sport that he did win comeback player of the year, and I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Joe Flacco is a clear winner for comeback player. I mean, it's amazing that DeMar Hamlin came and played this season, but he had like 2 tackles the entire season and a failed fake punt, so he didn't really do much. And a player like Tua Tagovailoa had the most passing yards, but I think the more of a comeback story was Joe Flacco, because
Mm-hmm.
Joe Flacco was washed. He wasn't in the league. No team wanted him. And then Deshaun Watson got out for the rest of the season. He steps up and he steps into a role where players like Nick Chubb are missing, and your running back is Jerome Ford. And the team around you is not as good as the Baltimore Ravens team that won that Super Bowl. And as not as good as a team as Joe Flacco has been on before, but he showed flashes, and he showed that he could still be a quarterback, a top 20 quarterback in this league.
For sure, and the whole thing with Tua Tagovailoa, he really did have a great season. But if you look at his career, I think he's always been pretty good. This is his second time. I think it's his second time. Yeah, it's his second or third time being in the playoffs. Great team. He used Tyreek Hill. You need to have weapons. I really wish the Dolphins went farther in the playoffs. They were a great team. They're a great team to watch go far in the playoffs, but they did lose to the Chiefs. It was great to see Kelsey and Kelsey Mahomes go after it with Tyreek Hill in that playoff game a few weeks ago. But the whole story, Tagovailoa has been such a good player. He's a lefty quarterback. He's the only one in the league, I believe. And great. But give it to Joe Flacco. Seriously.
It's Joe Flacco. Now, offensive player of the year, Christian McCaffrey, robbed of an MVP. Come on now. Christian McCaffrey, amazing. He's such a good player. He had 2,000 scrimmage yards this season. Not just because of my bias, but I think Christian McCaffrey could have won MVP this
Probably could have. I mean, Lamar Jackson, it's his second time winning this MVP. Here's the thing that confuses me. I know baseball so well. There's 2 most valuable players. One in the National, one in the American. I think in football, there also should be 2. Because there's not 2. But Lamar Jackson did win it. Could have gave it to Brock Purdy. Could have gave it to Mahomes. Could have even gave it to Christian McCaffrey.
I think Lamar was probably more deserving of the MVP than Brock Purdy, just because of the difference in their teams. Like, Brock Purdy's obviously going to have those stats with that team. I love Brock Purdy, but I think Lamar Jackson would have it over him. But Christian McCaffrey, with all those weapons around him, still having 1,400 rushing yards and 600 plus receiving yards. I'm pretty sure that's the stats or something like that. He also won the award for most rushing yards in the league this year. I think Christian McCaffrey probably, it's a 50-50 split. I mean, MVP seems like a quarterback award at this point. So, I mean, I think Lamar Jackson is definitely deserving of an MVP, but Christian McCaffrey too. I think Lamar's still an amazing player, and he had that unanimous MVP vote not that long ago, and it's nice to see him go 2 MVPs, and he's still a young quarterback with this good Ravens team, and I think he'll be back again next year.
Didn't he won it a few years ago, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing.
Unanimous.
Yeah. I just feel like they don't make the Super Bowl. I feel like I wanted them to see him. I wanted them to the Super Bowl. They just did not play good that last game. I watched it. They played terrible. They did not play good.
Flowers diving for the end zone and fumbling on the goal line.
I know, but even that other stuff, there's so much other stuff that happened in the game that they could have won it if that did not happen. They should have
defense needed to step up. The Ravens defense, they are probably the best defense in the league this year. They needed to step up, man. They're just letting Mahomes do his thing, and when you let Mahomes do his thing, you lose football games.
Well, they had so many flags. That's the thing. Some of this stuff they gave it to Mahomes.
Yeah.
But
No, I
they
agree.
they they seriously should have just stepped up. But the receiving core on both teams was not great, other than like the actual receivers. But Travis Kelsey's Jesus, the best tight end in the league. So he throws it to Travis Kelsey a lot, but without
Pretty sure
Hill,
Travis Kelce caught every single target that got thrown his way that game.
that's pretty good. Without Hill, that just looks crazy. I mean, they won it last year without Hill.
Yeah.
I could see them winning again without Hill. They don't even need Tyreek Hill yet. I mean, they're just that good. They really are just
I'm
that
just gonna
good.
be honest. I don't want to see the Chiefs win another Super Bowl.
Same.
It's just boring at this point. It's like watching the Patriots win Super Bowls over and over again. I don't want to see it anymore.
I wanted to see the Detroit Lions make it. It would have been such a great story. It really would have. Just seeing that team, what happened to that team in the last 30 years. Seriously. I mean, that's just doesn't happen in sports. But was so happy for them even when they beat the Rams in that postseason. That's it. Doing that is great. That's one of the things where I feel like you should have won that one game to make it to the Super Bowl, but be proud you completed your mission by making the playoffs in a season where everybody really thought you were a team that was not going to be great. I mean, seriously, who was this team? And Jared Goff, this was kind of a throwaway from the Rams. I never really thought this guy was that bad because he did make the Super Bowl when he was with the Rams, but they did lose it. But here's the thing. They were up by 17 or something in the game against the Niners, and they blew it. But you're happy for it.
Half,
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously. But coming out of that second half, that Niners team came with tempo, and the Lions just couldn't match it. They already thought they won the game. The Lions players were just getting cocky, and then the 49ers players were determined, and they came out and they won that game. And we don't see something like this coming from a Kyle Shanahan. He's used to leading in games. He's not used to trailing and winning. But he knew it was on the line. He had his team go out, and they ended up winning the football game.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. They had something in the game, the Lions. They literally went on 4th and 3. They threw it, and they never got it. If they scored the field goal, they could have won the game. They really could have. I don't get it.
The biggest part of the Lions season was drafting Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is already a top running back in the league, and he will be a top running back for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
With their running back core of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, that's probably the best running back core we'll see in the NFL. You don't usually see teams split up two players like this, besides the Patriots with Ramondre and Ezekiel Elliott, but the Patriots are a different story.
Yeah. But
or also the Miami Dolphins with Mostert and A-Chain, but A-Chain was injured for most of the season, so we didn't really get to see that much.
I really did like the Lions. I'm happy that what they did. I just wish they did win one more game. 2 more games, actually. Because it would have been, you make the Super Bowl, you should win it. I mean, you're the Lions. If you made it,
And they beat the Chiefs week 1, so who knows?
Exactly. But who knows? Even the Chiefs can be like, okay, you played different, then we're gonna play different. You're gonna watch that game, you see how everyone plays. Everything's different though. But seriously, would I love to see the Lions be in it. I mean, that's a story that does not happen. It's like the Bengals. It's like the Bengals from a few years ago, even though they lost it.
We can say one thing, and that's the Lions are going to be back next year. They're going to want it. They're going to be back.
That's the
think this
thing.
Lions
Just
team, this Lions team looks a lot different than Lions teams we've seen
we don't want to
before.
see injuries though, because look at the Bengals. You know they were bad. They were really really bad, and they got injured. All their
Coming
whole
into
team
the
was
season,
injured.
the Bengals looked like contenders.
But they got injured. Like in July, I remember the day. Uh, Burrow got hurt in preseason, and then he got hurt in the regular season, and then they had Browning play. But it's just if he never got hurt, we could be talking about a different story. We could be saying that they make playoffs. They could go to the Super Bowl. They're great. I mean, they're good against the Chiefs. They really are. Probably pretty good. I don't know if they're good against the Ravens, but I think they are. And could have won their division. Seriously. Yeah. 'Cause they did
All
a
right,
few years ago.
so now after MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett. How do we feel about that? And do you think T.J. Watt should have won this award over Myles Garrett?
Well, T.J. Watt did get hurt the last game, I'm pretty sure. But other than that, he was pretty good. I think it goes to Myles Garrett. He's just better.
I agree. I think T.J. Watt is an amazing player, but Myles Garrett showed up this year.
Exactly. I mean, look at the
He was
Browns.
here to ball.
Look at the Browns. They were not a team that everybody was thinking about to go far in the playoffs because they are really in such a hard division. If you really think about it, that North division, it's crazy because three of those teams made the playoffs, Jacob. Three of those teams. You have the Ravens, the Browns, and the Steelers all made the playoffs. And the one team that everybody thought was going to make the playoffs, or I'm not saying everyone, but that I feel like most people thought were going to make the playoffs, was the Cincinnati Bengals. And I wanted them to make the playoffs. I love the Bengals. Never made it. But, yeah, for Myles Garrett to win that, it's great because you don't really... It's just, you don't see the Browns play like that all the time. I mean, there were good years ago when they had Mayfield. But, yeah, you don't see that happen that much. Great, though.
Offensive Rookie of the Year, C.J. Stroud. There's no debate.
No debate. Just great player. Don't even have to explain. Look at the stats.
Now, something that could be argued, Will Anderson, Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think, even coming from a Niners fan, I think Jalen Carter should have won this award, if I'm being completely
Yeah, probably should have won the award.
It was close, but I believe Jalen Carter's the better player.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, NBA trade deadline day yesterday, yesterday. How do we feel? There wasn't many blockbusters, but we're gonna go through some of those trades now.
Okay.
So these are just trades February 8th and 9th, or February 7th, 8th, 9th, just around then. Okay.
So the mid-season point.
Boston Celtics acquire Xavier Tillman, and Memphis Grizzlies get Lamar Stevens and 2 second-round picks.
All right. I don't know much about basketball, so what do you think about that?
I think it's a good trade. I think Lamar Stevens was just like he was just a bench player. Xavier Tillman's a great defensive player and a great addition to the Boston Celtics.
Yep. All right. Well, the Celtics need to compete. They need to be better. Just got a better player. Gonna make them better. Because they're a good
Some
team.
would consider this a blockbuster trade. Buddy Hield for Marcus Morris, 3 second-round picks and freaking Cormets. You know who Buddy Hield is?
No clue.
Yeah, Buddy. I think this is a good trade for Philadelphia. Buddy Hield's a great shooter. Buddy Hield is. It's kind of a steal.
All right. He's a great shooter.
Players, yeah.
Great shooter for the great shooter in the NBA. Went to a great team in the Sixers. Gonna make him better. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't know much about basketball. I'm just going on you. But
Yep.
seriously, gonna make them better. Gonna make them a better team with Joel Embiid. So yeah, yep.
Gordon Hayward to Oklahoma City.
That is something that's I'll talk about that because I know more about Gordon Hayward. He's a Celtics. Celtics went to the Hornets. Old, getting up there. They're selling this Charlotte Hornets team. Just gave Hayward away. OKC. Not sure if OKC wants to. Hold up.
OKC traded Trey Mann
OKC.
and Davis Burdens.
Yeah, so OKC wants to win. Trey Mann. Okay, yeah, I can see why they did this. You know why? Because they are getting a guy that has playoff experience. They really are. They want to experience with this guy. They want to show this. They want this guy to show younger guys what it's like to win. They really do. So this guy can win and show.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, their team's like the youngest in the league.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Their point guard is Shea. Almost no playoff experience.
Yeah.
They have Jalen Williams, almost like no playoff experience. Chet Holmgren, rookie. They need that experience coming from veterans like Gordon Hayward.
Mm-hmm.
He's been through it. He's been on a great Celtics team. Obviously picked up that horrible ankle injury that may have changed his career, but yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. But they did lose today. But that's a trade that had to happen. Whether he's gonna be good or not, he's gonna learn something. Just like when an old player signs with the younger teams, they're gonna teach players what it's like to win, what they've been like winning.
Here's an interesting thing to me. So, Toronto trades Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young to Brooklyn. They receive Spencer Dinwiddie, and they waive him.
Ridiculous. They should not have done that, I feel like Brooklyn kind of wanted to keep with Dinwiddie because, he's been pretty good all his years. And he's been the starter and, put him on the Raptors, see what he can do, has experience, could experience with younger guys. That's all I'm going to say.
And the Raptors released him to free agency. Spencer Dinwiddie to sign with the Los Angeles Lakers after the Raptors waive him due to a $1.2 million contract bonus that they were trying to avoid. So they basically just gave Dennis Schroeder and Thaddeus Young to Brooklyn for free, which...
Exactly.
I mean, obviously Brooklyn gave them Dennis Schroeder, but they just, gave up their players. I think Brooklyn will be better off with Dennis Schroeder. Spencer Dinwiddie's not the greatest free throw shooter. There's been problems with Dinwiddie in that Nets team. That Nets team has a lot of holes in it, a lot of young players. And they're just trying to get a rebuild here, and I think that's a good trade for the Nets.
That is a good trade for the Nets. I mean, it's a good signing by the Lakers too, because this guy was on the Nets and given the Raptors, but Lakers good. So 3 teams he was pretty much on the last couple of days. So I mean, he went to Toronto, whatever. But it's clearly weird to see a player to go from 3 teams. 2 other teams to be on 1. I see the Lakers doing that. Yeah.
Dallas Mavericks, they trade away Grant Williams, Seth Curry, and a first-round pick for P.J. Washington. See, P.J. Washington's a good player, but I don't think you give away... I mean, that is... It helps their team out so much. But that's a first-round pick and 2 good role players. Obviously, Seth Curry, brother of Steph Curry. Not the greatest NBA player, but, they're 2 good pieces to have in your team, and apparently Grant Williams was causing locker room problems, so I see why they'd get rid of him. And former Celtic Grant Williams is now on the Charlotte Hornets, went from the best to the worst franchise in the league, basically.
Yeah, I can see why you're going to trade someone if they're causing locker room problems. For a time, that Grant Williams wasn't even a starter on the Celtics. Just happens.
3-team trade between Phoenix, Memphis, and Brooklyn. Phoenix, the winner of this trade, received Royce O'Neal and David Roddy. Memphis gets a pick swap, Yuta Watanabe, and Metu. And Brooklyn gets 3 second-round picks, Keita Bates-Diop, and Jordan Goodwin.
Anytime,
I think Phoenix is the clear winner of that trade.
anytime when you add someone better to your mix to help you succeed in teams, you're gonna do good, and that's what Phoenix did. I mean, Memphis actually did get 3 second rounds picks, which is good. That's gonna help them in the draft next year, actually this year. But it's just gonna help all the teams, trades. But Phoenix obviously is the winner just because what they did. They got players that they can succeed.
Nice veterans that are willing to win or have been winning, like including Royce O'Neal. Milwaukee and Philadelphia, Patrick Beverley to the Milwaukee Bucks. And Milwaukee sends campaign to the 2027 second-round pick to Philadelphia.
So second-round pick to Philadelphia from Milwaukee. Okay, in the second-round pick, gonna make them team better. Gonna make their team better this year in the draft. But Beverly was good. He was on the Clippers, right?
Who?
Beverly.
Beverly's on.
No, he was. Was he on the Clippers?
I think.
Okay, so he's on Philadelphia, but they got him from Milwaukee, right? Just in the trade.
They gave him to Milwaukee.
Okay, yeah, they gave him to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah, gave him to Milwaukee, and pretty good. I mean, Beverly's a good player. I think he is a kind of loves to talk a lot of trash, but they can get that figured out in Milwaukee. So gonna be good for him. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, Brooks, Lopez, also good players on the team. Could go far. This should be their year. I mean, it could be. The Denver Nuggets obviously won it last year, but it really is. It's good to see Milwaukee do its thing. I don't know much about basketball, but I do know that they're always good. You want to see Giannis succeed. The whole city loves Giannis. I was actually in Milwaukee in earlier last year. It was crazy because everything was Bucks. It was either Bucks or Brewers, and they love it. So was him going to the city, great to see. It really is, and it's a small city, but they're gonna love him.
All right, so let's talk about some NBA games tonight. Phoenix 112, Golden State Warriors 113. Steph Curry game winner.
Crazy. Just all about it. I don't watch basketball, but whenever Steph Curry hits a game winner, and that's crazy. Where actually was that game? What city was it in?
That was in Golden State.
Crazy. I mean, the fans was just going nuts. Just going nuts. Just absolutely going nuts. Just happy to see from Curry. That happening. That's just crazy. Steph Curry's such a good player, but he is cocky sometimes, but he can be cocky. You know why? Because he's Steph Curry. He's freaking Steph Curry. He knows how to play. He can be whatever he wants. He can be cocky. That's all right. Because you're Steph Curry. When you play good, you can talk trash. You show it because you can back it up. Seriously. Seriously, great game tonight by both teams. Love to see that that walk off. That 3-pointer. Great to see it, dude.
Indiana basically steamrolling past New York 125-111. The Knicks. I think the Knicks are the better team, but the Pacers just did it easy. And when you're led by a player like Tyrese Halliburton, you can win games. And the Pacers are going to be a hard team to beat this year.
The Pacers are going to be a good team, but younger team that's going to try to get it together like they did a few years ago, the Knicks. They're still trying to get it together. They really are. But
Cleveland easily rolling past Toronto, 119-95. I mean, that's just a game we already knew was going to happen. The Cavaliers have been on a good run this year. The Cavaliers have won it was like 13 straight games or something in a row
I
to
mean,
get the second seed in the East behind Boston, and you just like to see it with teams like the Cavs, younger teams with players like Donovan Mitchell and no, I'm blanking. Darius Garland, Jared Allen. They're just all great players that they're players you want to see win unless you hate the Cavaliers. For me, Darius Garland is one of my favorite players, and seeing him play great and seeing him win games is just a good thing. Even though as a Celtics fan,
here's the thing. When you talk about the three players, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and Donovan Mitchell, those are all that just sounds like a team that wants to win when you have all those three players. Darius Garland's always been good. Jared Allen was pretty damn good when he was on the Brooklyn Nets, and Donovan Mitchell's always been a key, really, really good player when he was on the Utah Jazz. They've just been so dedicated to winning. They've been dedicated to their teams. They want to win. They are 13-game winning streak. That is insane. That seems like a team that cares about winning. What they did tonight against the Raptors, crazy. I mean, it's just good because I don't follow basketball, but it's great to see that happen.
Brooklyn 123, San Antonio 103. It's just what's gonna happen. San Antonio's not using Wembanyama enough, and they just can't win a game.
Wembanyama is such a good player that is just, I mean, he's so tall. Expected to be so just incredible. But they just aren't using him enough, like you said, Jacob. And Brooklyn just has more experience. They just have the details to win a game. They really are there. They know how to play. It's just what happens when you have more experience. Sometimes you're better, but sometimes, these younger guys are just there that can play too. It happens. Whatever happens, but that's just what happened with tonight with Brooklyn. They just won.
And Dallas Mavericks blowing out OKC, as you said earlier, 146-111. What a game from Dallas. You see teams like this just easily winning games, and you have players, hold on. You got players like Kyrie dropping 25, Doncic dropping 32. And that's just what's going to win you games, because the starters, other than that, the starters for Dallas weren't really, crazy. Daniel Gafford coming off the bench had 19 points. Hardy had 11. Hardaway had 10. And, yeah, players on the Thunder, Shea kind of was the only shining star with 25 points. Next best was 13, or 15 by Wallace. You kind of need your players to perform against teams like Dallas.
I mean, that wasn't even a blow. I mean, that was literally a clear blowout. I mean, Dallas, I honestly expected to win this game, in my opinion, probably the Thunder, just because they have a better record by 4 games coming into this game. Dallas is just a game where you gotta win. You want to make the playoffs. You're still there. You're still great. 29 and 23 before the game today. It just shows that Dallas is dedicated to winning today, and they care. It's good. The clear thing, Thunder could have won. Get next time. Let's see when their next game is. They play the Kings. You know if the Kings are any good this year? They play them tomorrow at 3. It's at home. It's in Oklahoma City. You know if the Kings are any good this year, Jacob?
They're pretty decent this year. They're just like a bang average team, if I'm being completely honest.
Is Fox still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he any good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, just bear with me here. Let's go. Let's do this. We're gonna go position by position. What team in the Super Bowl has the better player at each
Okay.
position?
All right. So, do you have it on paper, or because I just have my phone?
I have
Usually I write.
this right here.
Usually I have a whole thing to I take notes before I do every stream, but just not tonight.
I have the rosters pulled up on my phone. Let's do offense first. Quarterback. I think this is a pretty obvious answer. I think Patrick Mahomes.
It's clearly Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Brock Purdy's such a good player still, but it's just Mahomes is just what happens because he's just seen 2 Super Bowls and he knows how to play. I wouldn't be surprised if they win this thing. I really would not. All right, what else, Jacob?
Running backs. This is also pretty easy. It's McCaffrey.
Yep. Yeah,
Over
McCaffrey.
Pacheco, over Edwards-Helaire, over McKinnon, whoever you want to put there.
They do have,
McCaffrey.
but one thing, they do have depth.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Raheem Mostert?
He's on Miami.
Okay. Yeah, but they have depth, the Chiefs, but I don't know if...
I mean, so do the Niners. When you have running backs like Elijah Mitchell and newer running back Jordan Mason behind him, you're going to win games. If McCaffrey's out, then Elijah Mitchell steps in. You know, you still have a younger, like, good running back there. Elijah Mitchell's, he's still great. He's nowhere near McCaffrey's level, but he's still a great running back.
Oh, yeah.
And Pacheco, I think Pacheco's still a great running back, but he's also not near McCaffrey's level as a player.
Here's the thing. McCaffrey's been a really, really talented quarterback. I mean, running back ever since he's came into the league. I mean, he's out of Stanford University. Here's the thing. He really is good, and, like, you can talk all you want about his injuries. I do. I didn't think you could say he was that good, because you gotta be, in my opinion, in order to be good, you gotta be injured. You gotta actually be playing. He was injured a ton. He really was. And I kind of wish he played more and he was not injured when he was on the Carolina Panthers, just because it would have looked better. He could have made that team better, but they just wanted to get rid of him.
I mean, on the Panthers, he's one of the only players. He had 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards on the Panthers that one year, and that's just something that you only see from an MVP or just like a most valuable running back in the league.
Did he win MVP?
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. McCaffrey is the best running back in the league.
Yeah, I just would have liked to see him play more, but no doubt about it, definitely best player in the best running back in the league. Could probably say he's one of the best players in the league, which he's one of the best players in the league, but
yeah,
best other than a quarterback, best player in the league probably. But I don't know. I just didn't know how good he was going to be just because he was coming off all those injuries. Some of these guys just are not good when they come back from injuries. It takes them slowly to grasp. All right, what else? What other positions?
Next up, wide receivers. This is also easy. We could go either way. Would you say, for the 49ers, would you have Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver 1 or Deebo Samuel?
I would have Deebo Samuel just because he has more experience.
For
yeah.
me, it's Deebo. Ayuk also had a 1,300 receiving year with about 30 less receptions than half of the guys that were up at the top. But let's just go with Deebo at wide receiver 1.
Mm-hmm.
Deebo against Rashee Rice, I think Deebo takes it. Deebo is, if not the most versatile player in the league. He plays wide receiver. He plays running back. He's quick. He's agile. and he's the type of guy that you don't want to let get active during a game because he will punish you.
And that's something that the 49ers use great for his talent. It's great to see because he's a player that you don't ever get to see play like that. But it's good. It's good. It's good for good the sport, good for the team, and I'm interested to see what he's going to do tomorrow. But
Wow.
also for the Chiefs, they have Marquise Valdez-Scantling. Pretty good. He actually pretty much ended the Ravens season. We talked about it earlier, but he's just nothing compared to Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk. I actually drafted him on my fantasy team. I mean, no, not my fantasy team. My Madden franchise online team. I chose the Ravens, but I drafted him. Borderline pick, probably. Didn't need to draft him, but I did because I thought he was a pretty good deep slot receiver.
Yeah, and when if let's say we're comparing Marquez Valdez-Scantling to Brandon Ayuk, there's no comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Ayuk's 1,000 plus yard receiver. Valdez-Scantling don't get me wrong, Valdez-Scantling is talented, but Brandon Ayuk is arguably the best route runner in the league. He's quick, he's agile, and he can catch and hang on to the ball. He had some very deep receptions this year. He had about 17 yards average per reception this year.
Which is pretty good. I really do like the what happened there. Here's the thing. The Chiefs only have one player that we've talked about so far that is better. I know there's more that they're going to win, but it's better. It's just Patrick Mahomes, but everything else Niners way. But Mahomes knows how to play. Yep.
This next one might be the hardest position battle we've seen this season. Tight ends, George Kittle, Travis Kelce. George Kittle had more receiving yards and more touchdowns on less receptions than Travis Kelce this year, which I think George Kittle had a better year. But these are two of the best tight ends that we've seen. Two definitely the top two tight ends in the league, and it's arguable between
Oh
the two,
yeah,
but
100% top tight.
not just because of my bias. George Kittle had the better year on paper. I think George Kittle is the more talented tight end.
All right. I'm not sure if you're biased or not, but better team this year, better team on paper was definitely the 49ers. Better team probably coming into the season. Actually, no, on paper, the Chiefs coming how they played was the Niners, just because they played better. Better stats, like you said, George Kittle, but you could definitely even say that Kelce is better. I think they're pretty much equal.
Kelce, if they're going all time, Travis Kelce is better than Kittle. But this season, right now, tight end battle in the Super Bowl, Kittle is more talented than Travis Kelce.
Well, yeah, because I mean Brock Purdy has more weapons than
And the amount of production Kittle has when he's not even the top 3 target on the team, behind Ayuk, behind Deebo, behind McCaffrey, he's the 4th option on that team, and he's still producing more than Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
Kelce is the number 1 option on that Chiefs offense. That's my case. Kittle is better.
Yeah, take care of Kelce, and you pretty much got nothing else to do other than Valdez-Scantling and Rice. But it's just he's 4th. That's why they're so good. He has more weapons. He's not a better quarterback. He's not as good as a quarterback as Mahomes is, but I mean they won the division. They won the conference. They won the conference. The Chiefs did not. It was the Ravens, but hey, it's just what happens. Because I like the Niners more, but it just shows that Purdy has more weapons than Mahomes, though Mahomes has seen 3 Super Bowls, and he's won 2 of them.
Offensive line. The The 49ers have the best
Yep.
offensive
Yep.
linemen in the league in Trent Williams. But do they have the better offensive line as a total? I say no. Trent Williams is the most talented lineman in the league. But him at left tackle, he can't do everything for the team. I mean, you have holes all over there. That right guard position, they have nobody. They have Spencer Burford and John Felicano. That's horrible. That's not the greatest.
Yeah.
There's vulnerabilities in that line. Colton McKivitz has given up 9 sacks and was tied for the 7th most blown out blocks on the season. And the Chiefs doesn't have a player as talented as Trent Williams, but they have Donovan Smith and Jawan Taylor. They've combined to give up 7 sacks. Both of them have give up 7 sacks, which is still less than McKivitz by himself on the 49ers. And the Chiefs have the better interior. The 49ers have the better exterior, but in total, the Chiefs have the better offensive line in total. I mean, the 49ers still have a great offensive line, but it's not near the best in the league. The best offensive line in the league is probably the Eagles, but the Chiefs in total, the interior is almost everything, especially in a run game with a guy like Isaiah Pacheco or Mahomes can get scrambling a little bit. I think the Chiefs have the better line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the online's not that important, but they do protect all the other players pretty much, the quarterback. But it just shows. So the Chiefs you think are better, right? Okay.
Offensive line wise, yeah. Besides, I mean, Trent Williams is the best lineman in that pool, but the Chiefs have the better
Yeah.
like total players.
Yeah, so the Niners got holes, definitely.
Yeah.
Talk about some more stuff about football. You know, I got the Niners winning, so yeah.
We have some more positions we can go over. We can go over the defense. Defensive line. Now, this is a pretty obvious one. The 49ers take it.
Mm.
I mean, the Chiefs have guys like Chris Jones.
He's good, though.
When you have players like Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead, and Chase Young, those are your 4 guys on the defensive line. That's the best defensive line in the league.
How about Buckner? What, is he on the Niners?
I don't know.
I thought he was on the Niners.
Yeah, the 49ers had 48 sacks on the season. And Nick Bosa is one of the most talented players in the league.
Oh man, DeForest Buckner, dude, he is actually not on the Niners. He's actually on the Colts. I'm sorry, but he was on the Niners. So I get that. I'm so confused, dude.
He was.
But he was a Pro Bowler also this year. He was a Pro Bowl in the flag football thing. Yep.
This is just getting out of hand. Linebackers, 49ers. Their linebackers are Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, and you can't get better than that.
Fred Warner's always been pretty good.
The Chiefs do have great linebackers like Willie Gay and Nick Bolton, Drew Tranquill, Leo Chenal, but come on, dude. You can't compete with linebackers like Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw.
Oh yeah, Fred Warner's been pretty good, and Dre Greenlaw pretty good too. I have a question. How about some other stuff for the Super Bowl?
Like, what do you mean?
Like comparisons, like punter, kicker, returner,
we have
all that.
Secondary as like defensive backs. See, this is one I think that the Chiefs will get. So both teams have great secondaries, but Talanoa Hufanga for the 49ers, their starting strong safety, out with an ACL tear. He's a great player, and he's almost like half of the secondary, but they still have Charvarius Ward, who is one of the most talented players in the league.
Did he just tear his ACL?
Nah, it was like halfway through the season.
Yes, yeah, I didn't know.
When you're playing against a team with Trent McDuffie and Willie Snead, you're not gonna win that secondary
Mm-hmm.
battle. Um, yeah.
So all in all, it just seems like the Niners are better on paper.
Did I say Willie Snead? I meant Legarius Snead. That's my fault. Um, final score, or this a final, or let's go with
And they have the
kicker.
upper hand. Yeah.
Kickers. Jake Moody versus Butker. This is easy. Butker. Jake Moody missed so many clutch field goals this season. He missed the game-winning field goal against the Browns from 41 yards out. You need to hit those. He missed a field goal. He got a field goal blocked against the Packers, and he's just inconsistent kicking the football.
Is that it? Only two though?
No, he had some more missed, but he missed a couple clutch field goals,
Well, yeah.
and
I
he's missed
mean,
some extra points.
everyone
Not as bad
has.
as Chad Ryland from the Patriots, but no offense to Chad Ryland. But yeah, that's basically it between the position battles.
Yep. Coaches. Probably.
Coaches, Andy Reid.
Exactly.
These are two of the best. These are like the two best coaches in the NFL, but it has to be Andy Reid
Mm-hmm.
over Shanahan.
Yeah. So, you know, so you say you do have the Niners winning, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do have the Niners winning the Super Bowl.
I got the Niners too. So also I'm gonna talk some other stuff. I'm gonna talk about baseball. I love baseball, so I'm gonna talk about it. We don't have much going on in baseball. You know, I don't know if you know much about baseball, but you say you know a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to say some stuff, but so yeah, so there's free agent started months ago. We still got four big, you could say five big free agents on the block, on the market still, that have yet to be signed. We have the number one star free agent pitcher that has been all through the offseason, Blake Snell, has yet to be signed. We also have Cody Bellinger, has yet to be signed. We have Jordan Montgomery, a pitcher, yet to be signed. Cody Bellinger, a hitter, first base designated hitter, and you put him in the outfield, center field. Jordan Montgomery, pitcher. We also have Matt Chapman, third baseman, yet to be signed, and we have Jorge Soler, yet to be signed. All these guys could find a place on a team that definitely would want them, and they didn't even sign yet. So what are we gonna do? We're either going to see where they go. I mean, we're just gonna wait around, pretty much. We're just gonna wait around, see what happens with them. The New York Yankees gave Blake Snell an offer for 6 years, $150 million. That's $30 million a year. Yet Blake Snell wants $275, 9 years. He won Cy Young. He's in this for the San Diego Padres. I'm sorry, dude. You're not getting 9 years. That's outrageous. That's just, you're locking up a long time. Rodon didn't get 9 years. Garrett Cole's great pitcher. He got 36 mil a year, but I'm sorry, you're just not Garrett Cole. But he walks a lot of batters, and he does. But the walks do seem like they're not like he's kind of intentionally walking the batters. He's still trying to kind of just mess with them, see if they're going to swing at pitches. So it's not all like far in the zone. I did fall far out of the zone. I did see an article on that. What do you think about that, Jacob? Bake Snell.
Just something in general, or just something a little different. When you have a guy like Cody Bellinger in free agency, who I think his outfielding ability is great. He's a good hitter. He's not insane. You know, he's not like a generational talent.
Exactly.
At that, but he wants more money than he should be getting. He's declined offers already. I think he'll eventually find a team, but he's a very talented player. I just think a team would want him for his center fielding ability more than his batting ability.
Well, here's the thing. He's been linked to teams all around. He's been linked to the Chicago Cubs, his old team. He's been linked to the Toronto Blue Jays, yet they're not really interested, because they have Justin Turner. They got Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. They even got Kevin Pillar. I mean, no, not Kevin Pillar. Kevin Kiermaier. And he also was linked to the Los Angeles Angels and the San Francisco Giants. A dark horse team I could see him going to. 100% the Philadelphia Phillies. I think he would also fit well with the Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox. But people say the Yankees were interested in him. We're not getting him. My Yankees are not getting him. We have no space for him. I could go over that in a different day. I might make a YouTube video on just talking about the Yankees. I probably will. Not today though. Maybe tomorrow. But yeah, seriously, we're not getting Cody Bellinger, and I hope we don't, because we have no space for him. But he's been linked to just so many teams. So we don't know where he's going to sign.
I think he'll end up going with the Cubs.
And I hope he does, because he would be a good fit. Also, all these players, what they all have in general, in common, and you've probably heard other people talk about this, they all have Scott Boras as their agent. He wants the money. He wants to get the money. He wants to wait till the last minute. But he's asking for too much. Either too much money or too many years. Sorry, you might not get over $200 million, Cody Bellinger. You might not get 270, Snell. You might not get 3 years, Jorge Soler. You might not get 160, Jordan Montgomery. I'm sorry. What do you think? What else, Jacob?
2 hours ago, Red Sox and Lucas Lutage or whatever. I don't really know how to
Lucas
say his name.
Litke.
Litke. I don't know. I've never said his name out loud. Lucas Litke and the Red Sox agreed to a deal. Yeah. So, trying to find the contract details here.
Yeah. So Lucas
Left-handed
Litke
pitcher.
Is a left-handed pitcher that they're probably going to use in their bullpen. He is not a reliever. If he's not good, you could send him down to AAA Worcester. But he probably will find some part of the team he'll probably find himself wanting to play. And that will probably be the bullpen. He was on the New York Yankees. He was actually not bad. He was actually pretty good on one of the seasons with the Yankees. He found himself on the Braves because they actually cut him. I don't know if they traded for him or cut him, but I don't think he played when he was on the Braves. I think he did play in a few spring training games. That doesn't really matter. I think he did play for the bullpen for the AAA team out in the Atlanta area for the Braves. Yeah, the Gwinnett team out there. So he played for Gwinnett Stripers. The Gwinnett Stripers. So yeah, he was on that team. So that's Lucas Litke. Okay, gonna find himself with the Red Sox. Pretty good. So yeah.
Some more Red Sox news. The Padres are interested in Jarren Duran. Looking for a trade to get him. He has a .295 batting average. He had 46 runs, 8 home runs, 40 RBIs, and 24.
So you actually mentioned that, and that's actually a great thing to talk about because, seriously, he could be in a Kenley Jansen deal. He could so be in a Kenley Jansen deal. The San Diego Padres are interested in this guy because he's so young. Actually, he's not that young. He's actually 25. He's not younger than most prospects. His first season was so bad. It was just not good. I mean, he got into stuff with fans. He yelled at a few fans. He was involved with some of the media, I believe. He got sent down. He wasn't even in for the first start of the 2023 season. He was in Worcester playing for the Woo Sox. He was on the AAA team. He was on the Red Sox. But so here's the thing: like, you can be so good, but the players are gonna want you because you're gonna want pitching, and the Padres are gonna say, "Hey, look at what I have here. I'm gonna give it to you guys because we want pitching." And he's pretty much this guy that's shown that I can do it in the MLB. You don't have to give up a prospect like Roman Anthony or Marcelo Mayer or Nick York for a pitcher to the Red Sox from the Padres because you showed that Jarren Duran showed that he can already play great. He only had 3 home runs, but he's a stolen base guy. Really is. He can hit 15 home runs and steal 50 stolen bases. That's what he can do. He's fast. They need him. It's a big ballpark. Great center fielder, too. You want that in center field. Juan Soto, I'm not saying he's going to replace Juan Soto, but he can sort of give you a deep breath out there. So yeah, he can play. I really would not be surprised if he gets traded to another team like the Padres. I really do feel like that is going to happen. Kenley Jansen also could get traded because they want to take off their contract salary. Craig Breslow, the general manager for the Red Sox, explained that and expressed interest in taking rid of that salary. A pitcher they could probably get for the Red Sox, they could probably get from the Padres, probably get, I'm not sure who they could get. They could probably get, let me look it up. Let me see some of the guys that they could get, because I'm not saying they're going to get Joe Musgrove or Yu Darvish, but they do need a pitcher. They're not going to get Michael King because they just got him, or Johnny Brito. They could definitely probably get, say, Robert Suarez. Just because he's the guy that, he's young. Could even go get maybe Adrian Marjon or possibly Luis Patino. They're not going to give up Wandy Peralta just because they just got him, or Matt Waldron. But so those are just some of the guys that they could get. I'm not saying you want to give them a big deal, so you might have to give them 2 if you're giving up Jansen and Duran. But yeah, so Darren Duran, could you traded? Those are some of the pitchers.
Yeah, so Josh Hader is on the Astros, and apparently the Yankees and the Dodgers were both interested in him before he went there, and I just want to hear your opinion on that.
Well, if you look at some of my past videos, I did actually talk about the situation with Josh Hader. I just said that it's just the situation where you're going to give him $20+ million a year. If you did not get Marcus Stroman, definitely consider getting him. But since you already got him, you don't need to get him because you already have a pitcher. Don't spend $20 million on a reliever. That's just get 3 outs. And the Dodgers, yeah, you kind of missed out on them, but you already got pretty good team. I mean, you have the best. You've had the best offseason from literally anyone. From literally any team. Best offseason, 100% goes to the LA Dodgers. Anyone that gets Ohtani, best offseason. But yeah, I mean, those are some deals that happened. And it just shows me that the Dodgers care.
Philadelphia are in talks with Blake Snell.
Not no-brainer. I'm not surprised because I think they could definitely be willing to get Blake Snell because he is just such a good pitcher, and I feel like he could land there. I feel like they should just go after Jordan Montgomery just because he's a guy that has showed interest in. He's a guy that has been a big part in the Texas Rangers winning the World Series, and he's just been great. But it's just good to see that, and Blake Snell could definitely find himself in Philadelphia.
Montgomery is most likely to sign by next week, according to him. He might make a decision by next week.
I'm not sure what teams have given him the offer, but I could definitely see him going to the Red Sox. The Rangers have not given. I don't know if they're really expressing interest in him anymore because of their TV situation. They have to pay the TV channel out in Arlington, Texas, more money because they want more money. But I don't know if they can do it because they have to give this guy so much money because it's just crazy. They're already paying a bunch of guys. They're paying Eovaldi a lot of money. They're paying Semien and Seager a lot of money. Sure, you want to pay this guy a lot of money for 6 years, but hey.
The Mets have apparently spoken with J.D. Martinez.
I'm not surprised because I feel like he could go there, but I feel like a dark horse team would be the Orioles just because he's going to make this team. He would make that team better, the Orioles. But all the Mets, he would be great. He would be great with the Mets, too. He really would.
Yeah, definitely. And the Red Sox are talking about trading Kenley Jansen.
Mm-hmm.
And including in a deal, like we said before, Duran also might be dealt in a deal including Jansen if they want somebody better than those two players. They can probably get somebody decent out of them. I mean,
yeah, they could definitely.
Good players, and the Red Sox definitely need to make some better additions to their team because they kind of suck. But
there's actually one more thing I want to talk about too. Jansen is a guy that is old, but he's a closer. Is he worth the $16 million? Probably not. He's not because he's so old. He was on 3 teams: Braves, Dodgers, and now Red Sox getting traded. But Duran's gonna be good. He could be the centerpiece in that deal because Kenley Jansen's gonna retire. Another thing I want to talk about is Corbin Burnes trade to Baltimore Orioles. Corbin Burnes was traded to the Orioles for DL Hall, a second-round pick, and Joey Ortiz. So that makes the Brewers look like you couldn't get a better piece. You couldn't do better. Seriously, you just couldn't. I think they could have done better. I think they should have done better. I think they could have. I think the Yankees should have got this guy Burnes, but yeah, he's gonna fit right in with the Baltimore Orioles. He's gonna be the ace. He's gonna make them. He's gonna make them World Series team in that best team in the East. So, hey, I don't know if he's gonna make them better than the Yankees though. But yeah.
all right, that's really
Yeah.
a lot of news from MLB. Not as much news from the MLB, but there is some great news from the MLB in talks. And there's some great free agents that still haven't been signed that, like to see where some of those guys are going to go, and hopefully they find a good spot for themselves, find a good deal.
Yeah. So I got my Yankees. Let's go Yankees. Spring training is about 2 weeks away. Not even. So pitchers and catchers report in a week, right? Yeah, pretty much a week. Pitchers and catchers report, and games start in about 2 weeks. I'm pumped for our spring training. I'm pumped to actually watch it. I'm pumped to see the videos that people are posting and people there that they're going to be watching on and pitchers pitching and hitters hitting on before it starts, because all of my February break I'm going to be focusing. I'm going to be watching that stuff. So spring training is right around the corner. Baseball season is right around the corner. I'm playing baseball. It's going to be right around the corner, I feel. We're at the end of off season. We really are. And I'm pumped for everything.
And I feel like these players got to sign soon. And generally speaking, it's important for them because they want to see a job, they want to get somewhere, and it is good to see them succeed, especially all these great players. I mean, you can make a whole team worth of players. But yeah, so there are some guys that you probably did not know that were free agents. And I top of my head, like Yasmani Grandal and Mike Clevenger. So all that stuff is good. Hopefully all those guys get signed, but some of those guys like Grandal might not get signed. So yeah, that kind of wraps us up here tonight. It's 12:13 p.m. where I live, and I gotta wake up early tomorrow because I gotta practice. But so that'll pretty much wraps us up because it is. Or did you want to talk about anything else, Jacob?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so we did a great time. We were here for an hour and 15 minutes. And I'm thinking about doing one of these this week just to talk about the Super Bowl, talk about a lot of stuff. I don't know if I'm going to have time, but I'll see you soon. I really will. And watch Super Bowl. Everybody have a great time. Everybody have a great week. So, yeah, we'll see you soon. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and go check out JWOTV on YouTube. That's the channel. So yeah, see ya.